Be a good one here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, comment down below. So Disney has finally responded to thanking communist detention camps for rounding up Muslims and forcing them into slave labor camps. Yeah, it's a bit of an exaggeration, a slight exaggeration, but the god awful truth is that they think these people that run these detention camps rounding up Muslims, and they filmed on site right next to them, and they try to defend this with, don't you talk about it. Like, China's like, China, the Chinese government doesn't want journalists talking about Mulan. They don't want it at all. And here's the thing: is Disney catered this movie to the Communist Party, to the Chinese. They catered this film to it. The mouse tailored Mulan to appeal to Chinese audiences, ensuring the film scored well with test audiences there. And then you have this thing right here. The United States and other governments have condemned China's suppression. I don't even know what that word is exactly. And other Turkic Muslim minorities in the region, where millions of people have been forced into so-called re-education camps and subjected to forced labor, even allegedly sterilized against their will. So Disney, they supposedly filmed right next door to one of these detention camps or re-education camps or whatever, and they're like, they've been silent, and now they're like, just don't talk about it. Just look the other way, for God's sakes. We're Disney. We are Disney, damn it. Diversity matters. And it's not helping that John Boyega is talking crap about them, pretty much calling them racist right now. Star Wars star Finn, the character Finn, John Boyega, who played him in their Star Wars sequel, where they called everybody toxic, white, racist, sexist man babies that complain about it all. Well, John Boyega came out and spilled the beans on Disney about how racist they actually are in the handling of his character. So Disney does not want to talk about this stuff, and this is their response. Disney CFO Christine McCarthy stated, "Let me just put something into context. The real facts are that Mulan was primarily shot almost entirely in New Zealand in an effort to accurately depict some of the unique landscape and geography of the country of China for this period. For this drama period. We filmed scenery in 20 different locations. It's common knowledge that in order to film in China, you have to be granted permission. So that permission comes from the central government. So we had to thank them, and we filmed in all these different locations, not just right next to this re-education camp. What's the big deal? Yes, we could hear the people suffering inside the walls, inside the camp. What's the big deal? We were shooting our movie. It's just like, what's the problem? The CFO then stated that it's common practice in the industry to list the appropriate local and national governments in the credits. So in our credits, we recognize the Communist Party and New Zealand. So what's the problem? I mean, we recognize New Zealand too, not just the Communist Party. So Mulan's credits specifically think the publicity department of CPC, and I don't even know how to pronounce that crap, autonomous region. Basically, where they have basically the people in charge of overseeing at least some of the re-education camp in the area, where they round up Muslims like they're cattle for the slaughter or whatever. And but at the end of it, just don't talk about it. Just stop talking about it. I mean, she said, so in our credit, I would just leave it at that. But it has generated a lot of issues for us. Just leave it at that. Don't talk about it. Look, we got Eternals. We care about diversity. We got gay people kissing in the background, and we've got a black man in Star Wars, even though we didn't give his character any depth, substance, or a real role, and he was kind of just there for a distraction, and we reduced him in the poster when we released it over in China. I mean, just stop talking about it. We care about diversity. Diversity matters. We're going to be talking about Eternals real soon. That's their response. Just don't talk about it, and that's China's response too. Just let it. Disney's over here, just let it go. Just let it go. Just leave it at that. And that China's government doesn't want journalists talking about Mulan at all. They don't want it. They don't want it. Disney catered most of this movie to them, and uh, and they don't want anybody talking about it. So Disney's going to suffer for this one. They're going to suffer for this one. Attaching that $30 fee on top of the already existing subscription fee, and then having, your stars over there promoting the Communist Party, and then your movie itself in the end credits promoting the Communist Party, filming pretty much on site with a re-education camp, practically, where it's there may be forced labor and allegedly sterilized. People are sterilized against their will, and so there's all that stuff going for Mulan. I mean, it's got so much going for it. I mean, it was a wise decision. Wise decision, Disney, to release this film of all films with everything that's going on, because China is the one that started this whole pandemic. With that said, tell me what you think of Disney. This beautiful, wholesome family company that cares so much about diversity and inclusion. I mean, they're all about the people. I mean, look at them thanking communists for letting them film right next to this re-education camp, this detention camp where they're rounding up Muslims for having a difference of opinion and who God knows what. And I'm sure Disney could hear the screams, the suffering. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm pretty sure Disney would be like, all right, everybody, take lunch. Cut. Hey, could you possibly not torture that dude right now while we're filming this scene? It's just. Oh, can you wait until we're filming one of the battle scenes so it just comes off like natural background noise? That's just. Anyways, big good one here. Just stop talking about it. Just let it go. Because we're under a lot of pressure. We can't handle this. Look, strong women. Diversity matters. The Eternals.